several other people to see. We'll be in touch with you.
Just take into consideration that we have the biggest stadium in the Midwest.
Yes, and the smallest library.
But you will be in touch?
No, we'll probably become pen pals. Goodbye.
Bye.
Who's next?
Kaufman, it's good to see you. Good. Virginia was real excited when she knew I was coming here. Real excited.
It's nice. Nice.
I mean, how do you lose touch?
I don't know.
I mean, with people that you were tight with. Tight. I mean, what happened to us, Kaufman? Losing touch like that.
Do I know you?
You're kidding.
I do know you.
We were classmates. I'm Roy Gale, Atlantic University. The Palmer Dormitory.
I did know you. We didn't like each other.
Oh, come on.
No. I distinctly remember you said some rotten things to me. We had a fist fight outside the library.
Well, yeah, but then we shook and we were friends again.
I lost that fight.
Now, listen, Si, I'm recruiting now for
Si.
Atlantic, and you and I have got to lock up Ronnie Moore for our team.
Oh, no, Roy, we don't have to do that. I'll tell you something else, Roy. We're not going to do that.
You'll be flying down with Ronnie Moore this weekend.
Roy, you're going to get in line with 107 other universities that are after Ronnie Moore. Roy.
You know Al?
You mean the postman?
He ain't so pleasant no more.
Hey, Mom, I'm full.
This may plain shock you, honey, but I wasn't thinking of you. I want to get some breakfast started for Mr. Dixon. They're starting early today. Hello? Well, this is the halfback's mother. Talk to me.
I get it.
Good morning, Ronnie.
Mr. Dixon, have you ate breakfast yet?
You know I don't eat breakfast.
They say, well, look, do me a favor. Tell Mom you want some, because she really wants to do something for you.
Okay, I eat breakfast.
I said I'd tell him. Arizona State is in love with you. Don't laugh. You don't know how many of these calls I've been getting.
I can't help it, Mrs. Moore. You are too much.
Now, there isn't anything in the parent-teacher's manual that says I have to listen to a con like that. You want some breakfast, Mr. Dixon?
I'd love some.
I'll get it.
I wish they'd stop calling here. I don't know what to do with them. I just want to be sure the boy gets educated right.
Sick him on Seymour Kaufman. He's talking to the schools that are after Ronnie and having the time of his life.
I don't know what to do with them. I just want to be sure the boy gets...
Morning, Peter.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Kaufman.
Morning, Ronnie.
Oh, hi, Mr. Kaufman. I brought over the letters that I got this morning.
Good grief. I had to volunteer for this. Pete, you just volunteered to help me with these tonight.
Thanks a lot.
So this is Ronnie Moore. Good to meet you, Ronnie. I'm from Atlantic, and we're expecting you out this weekend.
Roy.
Nice to see you, Si. Well, how about it? We'll take care of the plane fare. I can guarantee you 2 great days.
Well, it's sort of up to Mr. Dixon and Mr. Kaufman.
Well, bring them along.
You better get going. You'll be late for your first period.
Oh, Ronnie, Jim Williams has changed his schedule so he can meet you.
Jim Williams?
I'm not exactly excited about going away this weekend myself. But how could I tell Ronnie that I was going to blow his chance to meet Jim Williams?
Telling me you can't see me is no trouble at all, huh?
Yeah, but Jim Williams is...
3-time All-American Atlantic State, 1958, 59, and 60.
No, you knew that.
Oh, I'm full of surprises. Which you'd find out if you weren't canceling our weekend. Pete, this is the 3rd time in a row.
You trying to convince me you're mad?
You're right. I am mad.
No, you're not. You understand.
Pete, have I ever lied to you? I am mad.
I know you too well.
Oh!
Hi, you guys. Hey, I don't want to get personal, but did I just hear you scream?
Oh, I was just being understanding.
I see. You're into something. I better go. I don't want to interrupt. Right?
Oh, it's okay, Alice. I just have to go away this weekend, and it threw our plans out of whack.
Hey, listen. I know it's not exactly the same, but how about you and me taking in a movie?
All right. I'll meet you right after 6th period.
Great. Have a good trip, Pete.
Why couldn't you postpone the trip until next weekend?
No way. Jim Williams is going to be there this weekend. And to tell you the truth, I didn't want to blow a chance to meet him either.
Jim Williams, this is Seymour Kaufman.
How do you do, sir?
Pete Dixon.
Hey, brother.
And the young man we're trying to lure to Atlantic, Ronnie Moore.
Hey, Ronnie.
I hear you ran over every team in your league.
Yeah, well, we had a pretty good line this year.
Well, I hope you boys will forgive me if I move off.
We forgive you.
Jim will take good care of you, huh?
Comes out a little strong, doesn't it?
How'd you notice that?
Hey, Ronnie, let me show you around. Now, we've got a great program planned out for you, which I think you're really going to
Hey, man, this is something else.
You know Ronnie will be checking some other schools.
Oh, sure.
But I'm hoping you'll pick this one. I mean, Atlantic was good for me, and it can be for him.
Just so it's understood.
Understood.
Okay.
Just wanted to show you what it would look like. Can you dig it?
Hey, man, that's great.
Wait a minute. A little souvenir.
Hey, thanks.
You really should have hit him. Oh, I like hitting those big... Hi, Mr. Williams.
Oh, hey. Hey, Ronnie, this is Doug Becker.
Hey, how you doing, Ronnie?
Tom Brentani, two of the top juniors on the teams. Fellas, this is the Ronnie Moore.
Oh, we've been wanting to meet you. You had a season and a half out of there on the coast.
Hey,
you really ate them up, man. We could sure use you. You know it.
Hey, thanks.
Excuse me.
Hey, it's Jim Williams.
This locker hasn't been open since 1960. Retired.
Actually, I just forgot the combination. Anything special you gentlemen would like to see?
Yes. When I went to school here, we actually had classrooms. Now, if they still do, we'd like to see a counselor, please. At least this place hasn't changed since 1904 when
Mr. Williams.
Oh, wow. How long have I been keeping you waiting?
Almost an hour.
Gee, I'm sorry, Carolyn.
That's all right.
Oh, Carolyn Fletcher, this is Mr. Dixon.
Hello.
Mr. Kaufman.
You.
And Ronnie Moore.
Hi, Ronnie.
Hi.
Ronnie, Carolyn's our freshman queen. She's been selected to show you around the campus.
Oh, yes.
I didn't think you'd mind. Here, take my keys, honey.
It's okay, Mr. Dixon, isn't it? You can fill me in on what the counselor says later.
It's up to you.
See you later.
Come on, now, what would you like to see?
Oh, anything. I don't care. Yeah.
I bet he likes that better than the T-shirt.
Listen, I know it's important, but I've got some people with me here now. Tell him I'll be there in, say, 10 minutes. But I'm sorry. Of course, that's only a rough schedule. There would be some changes depending on what the boy wants.
Well, suppose the boy wants to graduate.
I'm sorry, I don't follow you.
Oh, you have him loaded up with electives and very few required subjects.
Well, our players spend 45 hours a week on football. Now, if you dump too heavy an academic load on them at the same time, it's too much pressure.
Are you serious? I have more pressure than this deciding when to eat dinner.
Well, we have a lot of experience with young athletes, and,
How do they graduate if they don't have the required courses?
well, eventually he will have the required courses.
And exactly when will that eventually take place?
I'm sorry, I have an appointment off campus. Well, Mr. Williams, you can set their minds at rest. Now, please, excuse me.
All right, Mr. Williams. Go ahead, set my mind at rest. It's been needing it for years.
This man is something else, isn't he?
What about this? The schedule.
Well, all I can say is it'll work fine for me. So they must know what they're doing.
Not with a schedule like this, they don't.
Okay. We'll work out another schedule. I mean, like the man said, it's not the last word. Besides, it's Ronnie's decision, right?
While we're on the subject of decisions, I've made mine. And that is, if Ronnie accepts a scholarship from this place, it will be a disaster. What's your decision?
We had 6 black players on the team last year that were all seniors. Only one graduated. Another's back to pick up the required courses that he missed. But he's off scholarship. If you can't play, you pay.
What's with Jim Williams? He's been coming on pretty strong to Ronnie.
Yeah, it was kind of Jim's idea for us to do that little welcome number on Ronnie. He's a hard cat to say no to.
Well, if Ronnie's going to get a raw deal, what's Jim's point?
Farmer, Brentani, Becker, come on. You got 30 seconds. You start doing laps.
Coming. See you.
Thanks.
Mr. Dixon?
Farmer.
Yeah, what is it?
See you.
Hey, everybody in, let's go.
Good morning. Will you look at this place? Maybe someday you can explain to me why he has his own room and you and I have to bunk together.
You better get going, Ronnie. We got a plane to catch.
We've got to wait on Jim anyway.
Why, what's he gonna do, wave goodbye?
No, he's gonna fly back with us.
What for?
I just got a twinge in my bones. Either it's gonna rain or he's decided to sign with my alma mater.
Yeah, digging to halfback for Atlanta University.
I was pulling for rain.
And Jim's gonna fly back with us to get Mom's okay.
Ronnie, I was going to wait until we got back. But you and I have something to talk about right now.
Sure, go ahead.
What do you want out of college?
It's gonna sound like a big ego thing.
What?
Everything, I guess.
What do you mean by everything?
Oh, a chance to play football and to get a degree in electronics.
Hey, Ronnie. Good morning, gentlemen. I guess Ronnie's told you about his big decision.
Yes, we were just standing around here celebrating.
We decided that Atlantic is not the right place for Ronnie.
Well, why shouldn't he go there?
Yeah, Mr. Dixon, why not?
I'll give you a list later on. But the bottom line is that a lot of players don't graduate. And Atlantic doesn't seem to care one way or the other.
That's a little one-sided, isn't it? I mean, a kid gets out of school only what he puts into it.
I don't want you to think that I appreciate what you've done for me.
Good.
But I've been over just about everything with Jim.
Maybe Jim didn't tell you the whole story. If you want a degree in electronics...
Now, hold it, buddy. Now, what's this about Jim and the whole story?
If you don't mind, I'm talking to Ronnie.
Well, speak your piece. Well, look, I went to Atlantic. I know all the guys were treated well there, and I'll make sure that Ronnie is, too.
See? Jim's gonna look out for me. So everything's cool, huh?
No, Ronnie, it isn't. I think you'll be making a big mistake.
Now, what do I have to do to convince you?
Try giving him a T-shirt.
Look, we only got about 20 minutes to make it to the airport.
You guys go ahead. There's a plane every 3 hours. I'll catch the next one.
Something wrong?
I just got one more stop to make.
You see, I didn't want to badmouth Jim because he's just doing his job, but Ronnie seems like a good kid.
What do you mean doing his job?
Well, he's a used car salesman in town at McCabe's here. McCabe's one of those big gung-ho alumnus.
Go ahead.
So whenever there's a hot prospect around, and black prospect, he turns Jim loose. That's where the bread, the big car, and the custom threads come from.
Hustling high school kids, huh?
Well, that's the way it goes, man. I mean, after he hurt his leg and couldn't go professional, there wasn't much left he could do.
I mean, he never graduated?
No. But did you ever see Jim Williams run with a football?
Yes.
In high school, our coach used to run films of his old games. Beautiful, man. He was beautiful.
How'd he get hurt?
Tore a ligament in the last practice before the Cotton Bowl game. He was the whole team, man. So what do? They shoot him full of Novocaine so he can't feel any pain, right? Third play from scrimmage, Jim's going around in. Boom, the leg gives. Out comes the stretcher, and that was all she wrote.
Finished.
Never played again. Say, do me a favor, will you?
Yeah.
When you tell Ronnie about the hustle Jim's pulling on him, tell him the other two, huh? About how beautiful he was when he was running.
Okay. Thanks.
Flight 14, now disembarking, gate 5.
I don't care if Ronnie gets embarrassed or not. He's gonna get hugged.
Mrs. Moore. Oh, there they are.
Everybody but Pete. Flight 415, now boarding, gate 9.
Glad to see you. Look at you.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Coughlin.
Miss Johnson.
Hi, Mr. Coughlin.
Hello.
Welcome home.
Thank you. This is very nice.
How was your weekend?
I suppose you mean, where's Pete? I don't know. He had something to do, but he'll be on the next flight.
Oh, thank you so much. Miss McIntyre, you don't have to take us home. Mr. Williams just went to rent a car.
Okay.
Hey, Mom's gonna give a little party for signing the letter.
I'd like you to come, Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you.
And you too, Miss McIntyre.
I'll be there.
And you too, Miss
Johnson.
Johnson.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Dixon will be there, won't he?
He'll be there.
Hey, you all right?
How's the party going?
Oh, they're going crazy. Waiting for Mr. All-American. Pete, I think after what you told me, you don't have much choice. You gotta keep Ronnie out of that school.
I know. It's the way I may have to do it.
Well, you're on.
Well, we may have our disagreements, but I'll never quarrel over your taste in women.
I want to talk to you.
Look, I'm late already.
This won't take that long.
Man, you sure are hard-headed. Now what is it?
I want you to lay off Ronnie Moore.
I'm getting this kid a scholarship to one of the biggest schools in the country, and you act like I'm stealing his watch.
Atlantic's a lousy school, and you know it.
And a school is a school. You know they only want us because we play football. We get what we can out of it.
Well, I want Ronnie to come out of it with more than a scrapbook full of headlines.
He'll learn to play football. If he's got any talent, then he'll make the pros.
What if he doesn't make the pro?
What if? What if?
What if he hurts his leg?
Man, if he hurts his leg, it's just too bad. I mean, life don't give you no guarantees.
No, but an education helps.
Helps what? Become a lousy school teacher and make a big 7th hour a year?
I'm doing what I want to do. And they're not going to do to Ronnie what they did to you. I know all about you, Jim.
All right, so I sell used cars, so what? My old man mopped floors. He would have thought selling cars was beautiful. The kids I grew up with are still shining shoes. Or if they're lucky, they found themselves a hustle.
Like you? Only you hustle kids.
Better back off of it, man.
Jim! Come on in, everybody's waiting.
Yeah, I'll be right there, Ronnie. Feel better now? You've had your little say.
Hey, come on! Come on. Hey, Jim. Hey,
It's good to meet you guys.
Hey, what's happening?
Isn't it wonderful?
Wonderful.
I think it's so important for young people to have athletic heroes setting behavioral standards.
Come on, cooler. Come on, cooler.
Yeah, we've got an occasion here. Now let's get Ronnie's signature and Mama's approval, and then I'll answer all your questions. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never could work a camera. It always comes out. We'll get the picture.
Hope I don't break it.
Okay. Get ready to smile, everybody. Come on.
Hey, man, I'm not going to let you do it.
I told you to back off.
Mrs. Moore, I have something to tell you. I waited until now because...
Mr. Dixon, don't spoil it. Everything's gonna be okay.
Mr. Dixon here has got some crazy notion that Ronnie's going to be shortchanged at Atlantic.
It's something that's funny here. And I want to know what it is. Mr. Williams, you went to Atlantic.
Yes, ma'am.
You played football there.
Yes, ma'am, I sure did.
I'll bet you were a lot like my Ronnie in those days,
Yes, ma'am, I guess I was.
with a head full of all kinds of dreams.
Yeah, sure.
If you had a son like Ronnie, would you send him to get educated at Atlantic State?
Oh, ma'am, I'm not even married. And even if I was, it'd be just my luck to have a daughter.
The lady asked you a straight question.
Mr. Dixon here feels that there are a few things that you should know before you sign this paper. One, I never graduated from Atlantic. Two, I get paid by Atlantic State to sign young students onto the team. Is there anything else you want to know?
And what's Ronnie's chances of graduating?
Man, Ronnie is a football player. Atlantic State will give you the only chance cats like us ever get. And that's to play pro ball. Now, you know where that's at, man. Now, what do you say? Huh?
Go for yourself, Ronnie.
Jim, I want to graduate. I'm sorry, but I have to say no. I want my degree. I'm not just a football player.
Okay. Well, you win a few and you lose a few. My last undefeated season was in high school. Thanks very much for the party, Mrs. Moore.
Good night, Mr. Williams.
Good night.
Big Jim Williams.
I don't believe it.
Believe it.
All those schools after him, and he chose Butler Tech.
You should think more of your school. It's a good one.
Oh, I know it is. But I mean, athletes like Ronnie, well, they usually, we hardly ever win.
What are you talking about? 5 wins and 5 losses for Butler Tech. That's like an undefeated season.
Well, I don't know how to thank you. Why don't you come along with me now, and I'll fill you in on the rest of the schedule. Pete, thanks for everything.
My pleasure.
You guys, Hoffman, thank you.
My mother wrote both of you a letter. Well, when you read it, I feel like she does.
Thank you, Ronnie.
He's usually in by this time.
I know. What do you think he'll say?
I don't know. I can't wait to see those guns.
Oh, yeah, well.
There he is.
Good morning, Charlie. Abby.
Can I talk to you, Mr. Can I talk to you, Mr. Dixon, in private?
Could I talk to you, Miss McIntyre, alone?
Well, I have to get my mail first. Just be a minute.
Sure, come on.
Oh, Pete. Did you lock your car this morning?
Yes, I did. Why?
Oscar Walsh's car was just stolen. He parked it in the teacher's parking lot 8 o'clock this morning. Now it's gone.
Of all the people who get their cars stolen, security guard.
Poor guy. And with a wife like he's got, you should hear that woman holler. She's got a voice that shatters windows for blocks. Look, you didn't notice anybody fooling around when you parked yours this morning, did you?
No, I didn't.
Well, first they'd taken mine. See you at lunchtime.
Sorry I got hung up, Charlie. No, you were about to tell me.
Maybe we can find some place. Well, it's personal.
Okay, come on.
But there was a battle, though, Richie.
At Breed's Hill, not Bunker Hill.
That's right.
Alice.
Oh, excuse me, just 1 minute, Richie.
Alice.
You know, Richie found out there wasn't a battle of Bunker Hill. Now, I didn't know that till I was in college. Do you think television's responsible?
I doubt it. If the bell should ring before I get back, will you get things started?
Oh, sure, I'd be glad to.
Thank you.
Sure. Now, about that battle, you know, I think it's wonderful that you've delved into this matter. Do you watch much television, Richie?
Well, we won't be disturbed out here. Know what's on your mind?
You're really a straight guy, Mr. Dixon. I mean it. You know what's happening. Like if a guy tells you something in private, it stays private, right?
Well, I don't break a confidence, if that's what you mean.
Well, I'm going to get married at the end of the semester, and I want you to be my best man. We're going to Tijuana.
Do you have your parents' permission?
No. No, we're just going to do it.
Charlie, I'm flattered that you want me for your best man. But I can't be anywhere near a student marriage unless you have your parents' consent.
Yeah, I didn't think you could, but I wanted to ask you anyway. Abby wants Miss McIntyre to be her maid of honor. We really dig you both.
Charlie, do you have to get married? I mean, is Abby pregnant?
No. I mean, that'd be a real drag to start being married that way. No, we just love each other. And when you love somebody, you get married. A lot of kids put down marriage, but it's what we want. It's what we're going to do. That's all. Oh, we're going to be late to class.
Abby, couldn't we take a little time to talk about this some more? Getting married is a bigger step than you think.
What do you mean?
Well, I think you should take time to get to know yourself and Charlie a little better.
Oh, if we know what we want, Miss McIntyre.
Maybe. Even if that's true, there are a lot of things surrounding a girl's marriage she remembers all her life. Parties, showers, her friends at the wedding. If you elope now, you won't have any of that.
But if we don't elope, then we can't get married. I'm sorry that you can't come along and be my maid of honor. Well, I better go. I'm going to be late to gym.
But I tried to make her think about it a little more.
I'm going to have to take a pass on lunch. I've got to interview a math teacher. Oh, our car thief is all but caught.
I hope it's not one of our students.
No, it was Oscar's wife. She and her friend just came down and took the car. She had to go to a luncheon or a card party or something. Forgot to tell Oscar about it. So he's going to call the police and cancel the stolen car report right after school.
But if the police should spot the car, they'll pick her up unless he calls right away.
I think Oscar's well aware of that. See you.
Oh, I was just thinking about Charlie and Abby. Two young lovers. Romeo and Juliet. A beautiful, gentle romance. How do we follow it up?
You're the consular and advisor, so counsel and advise.
Well, the first step is to consult with their parents, which we can't do because we gave our word we wouldn't.
I know. No, we gotta find out whether or not there's something pushing them into this marriage.
I think we should take them bowling with us tonight.
Do you really think bowling is going to help these kids?
It'll give us a chance to find out why they feel this need to run away. Why they want to grow up so fast.
It might be a good idea at that. If we go out and have some fun, maybe they'll relax and let us get close enough to help them.
We'll accomplish one other thing, too.
What's that?
Well, I've been trying to get you to take me bowling for about a month now.
And my grades are worse than my parents think they should be, which is always a guarantee of no dates during the week, no TV, and that means no TV, and no phone calls after 8 o'clock at night. Such a drag, you know?
I got a spare. You're up, Miss McIntyre.
How are your grades, Charlie?
Fine. I mean, I'm no genius or anything, but they're all right. Like, at the end of the semester, I'm gonna get a job and then go to school at night. So when I finish high school, I guess I'll go to City College.
Well, it's hard work holding down a job and going to night school.
Oh, I'm gonna help him study. At least that's more than he has now.
What have you got now? You getting a rough time at home?
Not really. When my dad gets home, he's beat. He's a nice guy, but he works much too hard. My mom, she cooks and washes and smiles a lot. They could phone it in, you know what I mean?
They don't care about you, is that it?
I don't know if they do or not. I don't know what they care about. I mean, they just keep doing what they're doing. Every day's the same.
You see, Charlie's parents never argue, and my parents make dumb rules. For me. Not for my sister. She never has to worry about any rules. She's such a phony. I mean, she plays him like a banjo or something. She either cries or she gives him the teeth number, you know? And they give her the moon or anything. I mean, a new pair of shoes. I hate that. I mean, she's really a rat.
No, I used to think my younger cousin was a rat. She lived with us when we were little. Now that I'm all grown up and I look back at it, I realize she really was a rat. Hey, what have we got here? A communications gap?
Sorry.
Guess that was rude, I'm sorry. I just had to ask Abby something. We knew you were straight with the kids at school before, but you're people. You're not old or anything.
Thanks, I think.
You see, we thought that you'd spend the whole evening trying to talk us out of getting married, but you didn't. And that's wild.
You wouldn't have listened.
That wouldn't stop most people. Anyhow, you have what Abby and me want to have.
You respect each other. We saw that right away.
You really dig each other. That's beautiful.
I mean, we can see how groovy just being can be. I hope you understand what we mean. Anyhow, thanks.
Anyhow, you're welcome.
Well, we've decided not to get married at the end of the semester.
It's probably a very wise decision, Charlie.
Sure. Why get married at the end of the semester? We're going to get married this weekend.
Mr. Dixon.
Oh, yes, Richie.
Yeah, well, some of us guys are giving Charlie a stag smoker tonight before he takes off to you-know-where. We'd like you to come.
I don't think I can make it.
Charlie really wants you there, Mr. Dixon. It's gonna be some party. My group is playing the gig. We're all dressing up. Scarves, turtlenecks.
Where's it going to be?
Oh, we're taking over the taco place. We got it all arranged. 8 o'clock.
Okay, I'll be there.
Mr. Dixon, why don't you think of a little speech or something? See, I'll be the MC, and some of the other guys are gonna talk. But you don't have to be funny. I'll take care of the jokes.
And when I told Rhoda what you said about how a girl misses having parties and showers and things like that when she elopes, we decided to throw Abby a shower so she wouldn't miss any more than she has to.
That's fine, Rhoda.
It's at 8 o'clock.
Where?
Well, if any of us had it at our places, our parents would find out what it was for and call Abby's parents. And that would be a complete wipeout.
Well, where's it going to be then?
Well, we decided. Your place?
What could I say?
You haven't been able to say much from the very beginning.
If we'd argue too strongly, we would lose them. We're probably the only contact they have with anybody who can help.
And how much help have we been?
Not much.
Oh, we have managed to get them to move their wedding date up from the end of the semester to tomorrow.
Great. Look, we know this marriage is a mistake. Abby's running away from parental discipline, a sister she cannot stand, and bad grades.
And Charlie wants to split from a home where nobody cares about him.
What are we going to do? If we try to talk him out of it and fail?
They'll just shut us out and go get married.
Right. And if we don't try to talk him out of it?
They'll run off and get married anyway.
Right.
We got one more shot at it. But if we blow it, those kids are going to be in for a rough time.
Guess you're all wondering why I called this meeting. Now, I want to say a few words about school. Take Walt Whitman. Please. No, but seriously, guys, we're all here because our friend Charlie is about to join the establishment.
Right.
This thing, Charlie. Tomorrow morning, you'll get to change Abby's name. And then in about a year from now, you'll get to change diapers. We don't want to worry you, Charlie. I know a happily married couple once. He worked days and she worked nights. They got a divorce. And what was so wild, she's moved out for 6 months before he ever knew she was mad.
Oh, Tijuana's beautiful this time of year. I mean, even if we get stuck in a traffic jam. Oh, you won't, unless you go on a day when there's a bullseye. It'd be great, huh? I mean, I've never been to Tijuana. Oh, there's someone here.
For a thing like this. Happy show is fine. Go in, put your coats in the bedroom, and tell me if you want root beer or lemonade.
Good.
Where did you get it?
You look pretty, Miss.
Thanks. Say, are you going to stay over, or are you coming right back from Tijuana tomorrow night?
I don't know.
Well, right now, some of the other guys want to say some things, so we better start off with Bernie. Let's give Bernie a big hand, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bitch, I guess I've known Charlie longer than any of you guys. We started out in the first grade together. Hey, Charlie, remember that little blonde chick in second grade? No more little blonde chicks for you, Charlie. Who needs them? I do. You got any extras around?
Come on, open it up. I'm so with everything. I don't know. Big thing.
Oh, thank you. It's all such a groove. Don't open my present.
Why not?
It's the same thing.
Oh, well, perfect then. One for Abby and one for Charlie.
Right.
Good idea. Right. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
You like it? That's what it is.
It's the newest record. Oh, you don't already have it, do you?
No, and I've been crazy to get it.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, everybody picked out such cute presents. I hope I didn't bring a dumb one.
I'm sure you didn't. What did you get her?
Dusting powder.
She'll love it.
You really think so? Everybody likes dusting powder.
I couldn't tell my mother what I was baking the cake for, because if I told her, she wouldn't have kittens. And she always wants to help, and so after I frosted it, she made some extra icing.
Oh, no! Look at that. Blow out the candles and make a wish.
This is really beautiful. You guys give me this party. Thanks a lot. Like, I've been sitting here listening to you guys tell me about how things are going to change for me tomorrow after I'm married. But you guys are missing something. I mean, things are going to be changed for you, too. Today, you're just guys in high school, right? But tomorrow, after I'm married, that'll make you all bachelors, right?
That's okay, Charlie. We don't mind, right?
Right. Gonna miss you guys.
Well, don't say it like you're dying tomorrow, Charlie.
Right. Anyhow, we have one teacher with us tonight. Mr. Dixon. He's what most guys wish their teachers were, but never are. Right? Right! He never puts you down, he never dances around or anything. He's right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, he's our kind of guy, and I'm glad he's here. Peace, Mr. D.
You guys give a great party. I appreciate your inviting me. I also appreciate what you said, Charlie. I just hope you meant it.
I did.
Beautiful, because I want to cash in on that right now. You said that I don't dance, that I come right out and say what I think. Well, try this, Charlie. I think your getting married is wrong. It's a bad move. Because marriage is not something that you just jump into. It takes preparation. You played football, right? You didn't just walk out and do it. You prepared yourself. Now, what makes you think that married life is any easier than playing football? What kind of job can you get, Charlie? Bussing dishes or pumping gas pays about $1.50 an hour. Let's see, that's about $50 or $60 a week. That doesn't give you much, Charlie. Not with tacos costing 25 cents a piece, milk 30 cents a quart. But that's what you're buying for yourself. I know you guys are under a lot of pressure to get good grades and to compete for college and to get along at home. But that's no excuse to make a crazy jump from being a boy to an unprepared married man. I know you're getting married because you love Abby, and that's fine. But do this for yourself, Charlie. Picture in your mind the man you want to be. Then add yourself to that picture as you are now. Then ask yourself, if you're as much a man as you think you should be to get along in this rough world. If the answer is no, then ask yourself if you want Abby to be married to any less of a man than the best that you can be. Do that for yourself, Charlie.
Thanks for letting us have the party here, Miss McIntyre. Oh, don't mention it. Good night. Bye, Ab. Bye.
Aren't they all beautiful? What do you see there, Abby?
A lot of love.
Love and little girl things. Not wife things and not mother things. Little girl things.
They're just presents.
They suit you. Those girls are your friends. And even though they didn't know it, they were telling you exactly what I should have told you when you first said you were going to marry Charlie. It's too soon, Abby.
I didn't think you were going to lecture me.
No lecture. Just the truth. You're not pregnant now, but what about a month from now? The thing you hate most about home are the restrictions. You ever think about the restrictions you'd have with a baby?
Oh, well, Charlie can help.
What do you think Charlie is? He's supposed to help you, hold down a job, and go to school? Don't you think that's asking an awful lot?
Oh, then I'll take the pill.
There's more ahead than just having a baby. You think Charlie will go on to City College and get his degree?
I know he will. I'll get a job, too. He'll go to college.
And you'll have 2 years of high school. What are you two going to talk about?
Oh, things we care about.
The more things you know, the more things there'll be.
You want us to wait?
I want you to think. To look ahead as far as you can, that's all.
I love him.
Hi.
Miss McIntyre.
Hi, love.
How are you?
Hey, come see what we got.
Did you reach him?
I don't know. Did you?
I don't know.
Hey, look at all this stuff. Who brought this, Cindy?
Yeah.
I want some cake?
Not on top of tacos.
Can we leave these things here, Miss McIntyre? I have to go home before we leave, and if my mother sees all this stuff, she'll get suspicious.
Oh, sure. Listen, Ed, we better split. Thanks a lot, both of you.
Oh, you don't have to hurry. Oh, no, it's all right. We better go. Thanks again very much. I really want to thank you, Miss McIntyre.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
It's so fun.
And don't worry about your presents. I'll guard them.
Okay. I'll never forget it.
Good
night.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Bye.
That Richie's group really swings.
Great. Well, what are we standing here for?
Nothing. Sure feels like it's gonna rain or something.
I hope it doesn't rain.
No weatherman says rain for sure tomorrow.
Well, maybe we ought to wait and get married next weekend when the sun's out.
No, Freddie's party is Saturday.
Almost forgot that.
Hey, look at us. Thunders. It's terrible.
It's a real drag.
I mean, we can get married anytime, right? Today or next week. But when we want to, not when the calendar says we will.
That's right. When we want to. But if we don't get married tomorrow, then what are we going to do with all the presents the kids gave us?
Well, that can't make us get married either, really.
You're right. If they want them back, then we'll just give them back.
Hey, that'll be wild at school Monday. We're not married.
I love you, Charlie.
I love you, Abby.
We should be making hit records. I mean, we're really great.
Hey, man, how'd it go? We meet Tijuana and all that.
Guess what, Benny? Dave. We're not married.
I'm delighted to hear that.
Good morning, Mr. Kaufman.
Morning.
Pete, don't you have Charles Moreno in your homeroom?
Sure, why?
I just heard him announce in a loud, clear voice that he is not married. Now, my question is that supposed to be unusual in this student body? I mean, are all the rest married and he's not?
I'm sure it's just a joke.
Joke? Marriage is no joke, Pete. As you'll find out in due course.
It's your carburetor.
Well, do you think I need a new one?
Oh, I don't think so. Just clean up a little, be okay. I think you might need some plugs, though.
Got it all doped out, huh?
Well, it looks like I'm in good hands.
Bernie, it's the best we got. Oh, no, not again.
Here we are again, Mr. Blackwell. I know we're the two people in the world you most wanted to see.
First my bursitis, now this.
Mr. Blackwell, we wanted to give you another chance to yield gracefully. We're basically a non-violent group. WARP is committed to the concept of peaceful reform whenever possible. We're hoping today you might see the justice of our position.
I already gave you my answer, girls.
Oh, excuse me, Sandy. Did I hear you say warp?
That's right, Mr. Dixon. That's the name of our organization. WARP. Women are real people.
Oh, I didn't know there was a debate on that point.
No? Well, let me ask you, Mr. Dixon. Shirley would like to be an automobile mechanic. She wants it just as much as any boy here. Now, why shouldn't she be allowed to take this course?
I don't know, Sandy. Mr. Blackwell here's in charge.
This is a boys' shop. It's a boys' course.
All right, Mr. Blackwell. I'm sorry you can't see things more reasonably. I think you'll agree we've given you every chance.
In session.
Okay.
This is fair.
Okay.
I'm not
You see, if you all talk at once, I can't understand you. Sandy, suppose you speak for your group.
Well, why shouldn't a girl be a mechanic if she wants to? You know, Mr. Kaufman, what it's like to get your car fixed right. First, you have to make an appointment as if you're going to see your pediatrician, for goodness sake.
Right, it takes
It's been years since I've seen my pediatrician.
And then half the time, the only real work they do is add up the bill. You never can be sure they fixed anything.
That's not true.
Let her finish.
Why this indifference to the customer? Because the demand for mechanics is greater than the supply, because they're all men.
That's right.
Okay. Mr. Blackwell?
Okay, let's switch things around a bit. How would you like it if some boy wearing an apron came into your cooking class?
We had one last week.
Oh, by the way, how's Ferguson doing?
Wonderfully. Yesterday he got his omelet to rise.
Good for Ferguson.
Do you realize what would happen if we tapped this huge reservoir of women power? What that competition would do? Do you realize how many women mechanics are at this very moment washing dishes or changing babies? Free those women. Then you'd see the men tighten up and do a job.
Yeah, that's right.
Then who would wash the dishes and change the babies, may I ask?
Don't ask.
What lie is there that says that only women...
Miss Adams, my turn. Now, this may come as a great shock to everyone, but you're not going to get an argument out of me.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
I agree with you that there is nothing in the school rules that says that a girl may not elect the automotive course. I only wish you'd come to me sooner. We could have avoided a lot of sound and fury. Now, John, I'm sure that the presence of one young lady in your class is not going to constitute a serious disruption.
That's easy enough for you to say. But how am I going to get the boys to keep their minds on cars instead of girls?
What makes you think they ever have? By the way, which one of you girls is the mechanic?
Shirley.
This pretty little thing?
This pretty little thing isn't big enough to drive a car.
Shirley's not a thing, pretty or otherwise.
Women are real people. W-A-R-P.
Why don't we save that for music class? As for you, young lady, do you know that there is a serious shortage of female conductors?
That's quite true, Mr. Kaufman. Thank you for the suggestion.
Now, Shirley, you'll report to Mr. Blackwell tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, one and all. Goodbye, everybody. It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Hey, wow, he was. and they hardly even put up a fight.
Oh, they never fight. They just patronize us.
Sandy? Hi, here are your notes. That stuff on H.G. Wells was just what I needed. Now all I have to do is figure out who H.G. Wells was.
Could you read them any easier this time?
Oh, I got your handwriting down now. As soon as I figured out that you cross your I's and dot your T's. What are you, Aries?
No, it's just difficult.
Mhm.
Actually, I'm Pisces.
Yeah, I'm Sagittarius. Are we compatible?
H.G. Wells. He was essentially a teller of tales. Now, George Bernard Shaw was a creator of memorable characters. Now, of all the English writers, Shaw was the creator of great heroines, like Cleopatra, St. Joan, Mrs. Warren, and Major Barbara, all of whom are what we would call emancipated women. You know, Sandy, you and the girls have been caught up in women's lib would really appreciate Shaw's attitude toward women. He was a great champion for women's rights in his day, you know? One of the things he said was, women are only called womanly when they regard themselves solely for the use of men. Bernie?
Well, that is very interesting. But what does it mean?
Well, it means that men have always tended to look upon women as sexual objects first and people second. Okay, now, what are you laughing at? Women want respect. They want to be thought of as equals. They don't want to be looked upon as just a pair of legs or a pair of... All right. Bernie, how would you feel if when you went walking down the street, girls whistled at you? See, you'd be flattered for a minute, but you wouldn't feel very respected, would you?
Well, if they don't want us to look at their legs, how come they all the time showing us?
Here they come. Hey, sweetheart, how's about you and me engaging in a little heavy breathing?
Ooh, I want a little one. Ooh, I love those little ones.
Hey there, beautiful bodies like yours are made, not born.
Now, will you tell us all about this harassment that the girls of Warp have been giving you?
Well, after that young girl pinched me and made suggestive remarks about my body, I cried and cried right through deep knee bends.
I plan to take karate lessons. And heaven help the next girl who dare lay a hand on my knee. I'm not hostile. I just want respect.
I know I have beautiful legs, but I want to be appreciated for my mind.
Well, at first I thought it was pretty humiliating, but I guess I can get used to being treated as a mindless sex object. Well, you know me, I never had much ambition anyway.
And finally, George Vincent remarked simply, "What kind of a boy do they think I am anyway?" What a burn.
Well, but you know what they say, it's just publicity. Besides, I think it's kind of funny.
Of course it's funny. That's just the trouble. Everything we do is just ho-ho time. Men just laugh at us. And the more serious we become, the funnier they think we are.
Sandy. Hi. I've been meaning to tell you, I think what you girls are doing is just fine. Keep it up.
Thanks, Miss McIntyre. That helps a little.
Why, what's the matter? You are into something good.
Oh, Miss McIntyre. I mean, you're really nice and everything, and encouraging. But you're a woman. To the men, we're just a joke. No matter what we do, they just won't take us seriously.
Well, now remember, you've got a few thousand years of history to undo. And there's always been something funny to first-class citizens when second-class citizens start yelling for the same things. So give yourself some time. Find an issue that really hits the men where they live, and they won't laugh anymore, I guarantee.
Well, you're right. I know I'm impatient. It's just that I don't know why we have to wait.
I know what you mean. Right on.
Can we have a ball, please? Pretty lucky.
I'll do it again if you want.
Again? Do you know how far away that is?
Give me the ball. Let her try.
Shoot me the ball, will you? Good shot.
Yeah. See you around.
Yeah, see you around.
Did you see that? Hey, Helen, when'd you learn to do that? I don't mean the shot. I mean the boys. Did you see their faces? What'd you see on their faces?
Well, they were surprised. I'll tell you what you saw on their faces. Respect.
Look, I got a B+ on that test on H.G. Wells. That is the best grade of my entire life. And I owe it all to you. Of course, I crossed my I's and dotted my T's, and Miss Johnson couldn't read it, but...
Larry, we want to get Halloran on the basketball team.
Well, that's not hard.
I mean the boys' basketball team.
That's hard.
Oh, Larry, will you coach her? She can shoot like you can't believe. It's just that she needs some help on some of the other parts of the game.
What is this, your Amazon Society's latest blow for women's liberation? Why are you laughing?
Because you're not.
All right, Halloran, let's warm up a little. Let me see you move. Take it easy, relax, take a few shots.
I'm a little out of shape.
That's out of shape? Where did you learn to play like that?
Oh, I've got 4 brothers. We've always played together.
Uh-huh. And you really want to play on the team?
I'd love to play.
And why shouldn't she play with the best if she's good enough?
That's cool, that's cool. Secret weapon. Opposition collapses in confusion.
Listen, I'm worried about the opposition on our team.
But Halloran, that's just the point. Where's the victory without opposition? A little bit of luck, the boys will hit her gut.
I can hardly wait to see the expression on Coach Windish's face. All right, Halloran.
You can call me Hal.
All right, Hal. Let's try a few moves. Man-to-man defense. You should pardon the expression, but try to score on me.
All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. I want you to form a single line behind the midcourt stripe. As the ball is passed to you, sound off with your name loud and clear and go in for a layup. All right, you got that?
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go. Yeah. Wilson.
I don't see Halloran.
You see Larry Silverstreet?
Yeah.
Right behind him.
Jamaica.
Oh, she looks just like one of the boys to me.
But what about her voice?
Halloran.
Hey, you. What'd you say your name was?
Halloran, sir.
Let's see you do that again. Hey, nice shot. Good boy. All right, that's it for now. Practice tomorrow, same time. The following men report to me. Evans, Silverstreet, Howard, Halloran. Girls, Girls, now come on, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here anyway. Now, if you can't hold it down, I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. We can't run a practice here. I can't hear myself think. What are you doing here?
I've been here. I was in the scrimmage.
Oh, what are you talking about, the scrimmage? What's your name, young lady?
Halloran, sir.
But you can't take her off. You gotta give her another chance.
What do you mean I can't take her off? You see how I'm taking her off? She's off.
Mr. Kaufman, you see, that proves it. Mr. Windish had Halloran on the roster, and he's only cutting her because she's a girl.
If she's good enough, why can't she be on the team?
If she wants to play basketball, let her play on a girls' team.
But she's good.
I don't care if she's good. She's not going to play on my team.
Mr. Windish, at the risk of bringing up a sore subject, when you consider the record this team has had the last 3 years, I don't think we can afford to pass up any candidate.
Put that girl on the team, we'll be the laughing stock of the whole league.
Not if you won a few games.
All right, all right. Dixon, you want to be the coach? You be the coach.
I honestly haven't heard one real reason for keeping Halloran off the team as long as she qualifies.
Because she's a girl.
That's not a reason.
Okay. I think I've come up with a way to settle this thing if Mr. Windish will go along. Why don't we ask the boys from last year's team if they'd be willing to have a girl in their midst?
Absolutely. I got nothing against that. I know how they'll answer.
Okay. Let's take the vote. How many of you go along with Mr. Windish and would like to have an all-boy team? It's 5 against. Is there any point in asking if anyone is for having Miss Halloran join? Well, a hand.
Silver Street.
Miss Adams, afraid that settles it. I guess there's just a few pockets of resistance that still aren't willing to be liberated.
Listen, Sandy, a general can't go into mourning for every soldier that falls in battle.
Oh, go slam dunk your head.
Are you crying?
Yes. And often, and when I'm not smoking cigars or lifting weights, I laugh and cry, almost like a real human being.
Sandy, I'm sorry it didn't work out.
Tell Halloran that, will you? I can't face her.
She knows how you feel.
Well, you did all you could.
What do you mean all I could? I did better than I could.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah, but how's the girl gonna move up there for the rebound? Well, what makes the difference? I mean, you've got to admit she's the best shooter you've ever seen.
So what do you guys got to be scared of?
Scared? Well, who's scared?
How'd you make out with your car?
Oh, just fine. That little girl really knows what to do with a carburetor.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I knew I'd never get out. Hello. What can I do for you, boys?
Mr. Kaufman, we wanted to talk to you about that girl, you know, Halloran or Halloran?
Yeah, yes, sir, Halloran. That is, we've been thinking, what do we have to be scared of?
Are you scared?
No, no, no. I mean, we just thought it was very weird to have a girl on the team, that's all.
No, what happens if she turns out to be better than you guys?
Better. She's just a girl. That's all.
It's just a girl.
Yeah.
Nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah, why don't you just give her a chance anyway? Otherwise, it makes us look bad.
Like we're scared.
Yeah, just give her a chance.
After all, what do you guys got to be scared of, right?
Right, right. That's just the way we feel about it, Mr. Kaufman.
Halloran. That's the team. Now, the rest of you guys, you keep trying, you hear?
Let's see. Munson made it. What is this? Really?
Larry,
Oh, hi.
it was an oversight, wasn't it? A mistake? I mean, you were on the team last year.
No, it wasn't a mistake.
Was it because of Halloran?
Actually, it was because I wasn't good enough. Or serious enough, that's my problem.
Well, it's a way to get by. I mean, if you don't take things too seriously, then you can't get hurt.
That's right. That's right on the button.
Look, why don't we go out together? Maybe over the weekend. Go to a movie or something.
Why? You feel sorry for me?
Well, if I do, it's because I have a tendency to take things too seriously.
Only if you promise to keep your hands to yourself.
I'm not making any promises.
Egad, Silver Street, the woman is mad for you. Absolutely mad for you. But wait a minute. Think about this for a minute. Are you ready to become involved? What about your life, your career, your ambitions? Are you ready to tie yourself down to this creature of lust? Remember, men are only called manly when they regard themselves solely for the use of the women.
Here's old 10 miles to the gallon. Where's that girl Shirley that did such a great job on your car?
She's not here.
Not here. This is sixth period, isn't it?
Right, but she left the course.
She left the course?
She wanted to be near her boyfriend.
I know she had a boyfriend.
She does. I think his name is Ferguson.
Ferguson, that kid in cooking class? Now she's in cooking class.
No, she's in cooking class.
Pete, you know what I feel like right now? I feel like smoking a big, fat cigar.
Time's up. Please pass your papers forward.
How'd you do, man?
You spelled my name perfect.
Now I want to tell you about your final essay assignments. That's no attitude. This is your last chance to express yourself at Whitman.
Well, what's our first chance, Miss Johnson?
I want you all to write 1,000 words on the author that's meant the most to you in high school.
That's easy. The guy who wrote the disciplinary code.
Now, 5 of you from this section are excused from this assignment to work on your valedictorian speeches. And that's Eunice, Roger, Murray, Donna, and Neil.
How do they rate? How come they're the only ones that get to write the graduation speeches?
Because they have a 3.5 average or better.
Big deal. So they're A students. That doesn't mean they got more to say than anybody else.
How do you think you get A's?
I think it's your looks, Mur.
The rest of us don't even get a chance. Do you think that's right, Miss Johnson?
Well, it's tradition that the cum laudes give the speeches.
Tradition?
Well, I agree with Jason and Stan. Why should only the A students be the ones to speak?
What are you doing?
See, she's not afraid of competition.
Maybe we ought to talk to Mr. Kaufman, huh?
All Kaufman will do is show the state rules on graduation, that's all.
Yeah, you know who wrote those? The same guy who wrote the disciplinary code.
How come you're pleading their cause?
Because, Mr. Kaufman, I happen to think the students are really right.
They do have a good point. You know, Webster defines a valediction as a statement on leaving, not an IQ test. Now, a 3.5 average says good student, right? It also says hard worker. It does not indicate a leader or a good speaker, and it is in no way indicative of an inventive mind. Tell me something. Were you an A student, Mr. Kaufman?
Well, that wouldn't be a fair question to ask me, Pete. I happen to be the principal of a high school.
Were you?
No.
Neither was I. Liz?
B-, math got me.
Alice?
Oh, yeah, I got A's. I got all A's. I gave the graduation speech. I guess it was, pretty corny.
The challenge before us, right?
The promise of tomorrow.
Mm.
Hey, you know, I don't know what harm it would do if, everybody submitted a speech.
Certainly would be a lift to the C students. I mean, just the thought that somebody might be interested in something they had to say.
And what they have to say might be very interesting.
I mean, the whole idea of graduation is changing. I mean, some schools, they don't even have caps and gowns and proms anymore. They give the money to causes.
Sometimes I wonder if any of our old traditions are worth preserving. Well, I guess we won't know unless we experiment. Miss Johnson, we'll try your little exercise in democracy. And I hope you all realize that that means we're going to have to find people to read 380 anonymous speeches instead of 40.
There's nothing I'd rather do than read 40 or 50 speeches this weekend.
I can hardly wait myself.
You see, Miss Johnson, without your little plan, your friends might have had to waste their free time doing frivolous things like going to the movies and dancing.
Well, looks like I came to the rescue again. Huh, gang?
Right, Johnson.
Well, today's the day. The judges have been judging your speeches, and I'm glad to announce that 3 of the winners are in this class. Donna, you'll be giving a speech. And so will you, Stan.
You're kidding.
No, I wouldn't kid about a thing like this. And Murray, you're first alternate.
Well, look who turned out to be speech maker.
Oh, cut it out, man. It's some kind of a gag.
No, it isn't. Look, I read your speech, and it was really terrific. Donna, yours was excellent, too, and so was yours, Murray.
Sure, Miss Johnson. I don't know why I even bothered to write it.
Oh, here we go again.
All you've done the last 4 years is get in trouble. I've worked hard for my grades. Where'd it get me? First alternate.
Be cool, Murray. Maybe there'll be a flu epidemic, and then you can give all 3 speeches.
It's not just the speech. It's the principle of the thing. There's nothing special about being special anymore.
What do you mean, special?
You're special because you get A's. I'm special because I wrote a good speech.
You spent one night on that speech. I worked 4 years for my grades.
Hey, what is the big deal, huh? I won and that's that. Right, Miss Johnson?
It's the first step toward anarchy.
Actually, I think what Miss Tandy is saying is that this could have a disruptive influence on our future students.
I said anarchy, and I meant anarchy. If you make every honor available to every student, you deprive them of their motivation to compete.
But shouldn't the students be encouraged to get an education for its own sake, not for the honors?
If you look at it that way, one obviously has to respect that principle.
Yes. Now, what I wanted to know is why you two waited so long to say anything. I mean, why didn't you speak up when we first changed the rules?
We felt it wasn't our province. But when a boy like Stan Siebert is chosen valedictorian, one can't stand on ceremony.
Oh, I see. It's not really the rule, then, that's bothering you two. It's Stan.
Mr. Kaufman, Stan Siebert has drifted merrily through his 4 years here at Whitman, barely avoiding expulsion, just having a good time.
Having a good time. Well, perhaps. But he did win this honor in an open, fair competition.
Oh, hi, Mr. Dragon. Miss Tandy?
Good morning, Miss Johnson. I trust you're pleased with your innovation?
Actually, I think what Miss Tandy means is,
Oh, boy. Do a lot of the faculty feel that way?
Probably. But I didn't bring you down here to get a consensus. I want your opinion about something. Our valedictorians have been asked to appear on a Sunday television show. Jackson Baker Talks to Youth.
Well, if you want my honest opinion, sir, I think Jackson Baker is an awful square.
I wasn't really interested in your opinion of Jackson Baker. More like your opinion of Stan Siebert. Do you think it's safe to let him appear?
Safe?
There's no need to speak in riddles, Miss Johnson. Stan isn't exactly noted for self-control.
Well, he does speak his mind in class.
Speaking his mind is every citizen's right. Threatening to slug the boy's vice principal is not.
Mr. Casey?
The very one. Now, there's no excuse for that kind of behavior.
And you don't want to let bygones be bygones, huh?
Oh, I was very willing to do that. The incident had shrunk to a dim flicker in my memory until Stan started throwing eggs at Councilman Hackett on Americanism Day.
Well, I guess, Stan finds it hard to stifle his negative feelings. And I guess he, finds it hard to accept authority figures. I guess that's obvious.
And I guess you want me to give him a chance.
I guess so.
Bye. Hey, Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson, are you going to watch me on television?
Of course. Oh, Miss McIntyre's having some of us over for brunch, and we're all gonna watch together.
Hey, far out. I'm gonna have my own fan club.
Right.
You know, I really owe you a lot.
Stan, I didn't write your speech.
No, I mean, well, I don't mean that, but you did go to bat so that we could all write the speeches, you know? Anyway, it's a lot more than that. You're really a good teacher, you know that?
Thank you.
You know, if it wasn't for you and Mr. Dixon, a couple of others, I probably would have dropped out of this place a long, long time ago. You really listen, you know? You really listen. Like those other teachers, some of them, man, you raise your hand and they listen, but, wow, it's like they were waiting for some kind of a bus, you know?
What are you gonna do after graduation, Stan?
I don't know. I don't know. My father says he could probably get me a job where he works.
Have you thought about college?
Oh, yeah. But you know what my grades are like. Harvard and Yale are not exactly fighting over me.
How about starting with junior college?
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about that. If I got a job, I could probably take classes at night, couldn't I?
I hope you do. I don't mean to push you or anything, but I think you have an awful lot of potential.
You can push. I don't mind. I'll see you later.
And I said, it's not the sum, it's the principle. Okay, let's talk a little bit now about the curriculum.
Well, I do think some of our courses could be more relevant.
That's an interesting point.
A lot of the stuff we're required to take doesn't have much to do with what our lives are really like. For example, the language courses. We don't really need all that stuff, and I just don't know.
That is fascinating, Donna. Aren't these kids something? They question everything. It's a tonic just to be with them. Now, let's talk a little bit about the extracurricular activities. Willard, are you involved in sports?
Excuse me, Mr. Baker, what Donna was saying is very important.
Yes, it was. We all heard her, Sam.
Stan. No, I mean, she didn't get a chance to explain. You see, that's one of the really big problems in school today. You don't really learn things, you just borrow them.
Oh, I don't think you really mean that. Willard, about sports. Who had the best track team?
No, I do mean it. I do mean it, Mr. Baker. I mean, it's like the way the system is set up, right? You waste half your time learning facts for the tests. And then a week later, you ask the same questions, you'd think the whole student body came down with amnesia.
You suppose there's a chance that anybody from the Board of Education is watching, or is there a football game on the other channel?
You're very quick with the jokes, aren't you, Stan?
No, it's no joke, Mr. Baker. That's why school's such a drag most of the time. You never get to question things, and... I mean, there's things in those textbooks that don't make sense anymore, but there's no way of... Oh, excuse me, you took the camera off me. You took that camera off me. You think I'm some kind of a jerk? I don't know when the camera's on me?
I think you're a very, excitable young man.
That's lousy manners to turn someone off like that.
I think I have to question your authority on manners, Stan. And it seems to me that you've had more than your share of time. Now, I'd like to hear what Willard has to say about sports.
Nobody cares about sports. You have a chance to do something really important here.
Did I miss something?
This isn't the state legislature,
You are
Stan.
not even listening. As a matter of fact, you make such a good non-listener, they ought to make you superintendent of schools.
I really think it's time for you to sit down, Stan, and let somebody else speak.
Why should I sit down? You don't want people here, man. You just want bodies.
Stan!
Hey, come on. This is not a discussion. This is a bigger fake than the wrestling matches.
Will you please sit down?
Okay. All right, I'll sit down, but will you stop pulling on your ears? I know that's a signal.
We regret that due to technical difficulties, we have temporarily lost the sound portion of the Jackson Baker Show. Please stay with us.
I think I'll call in sick tomorrow. In fact, I think I'll call in sick today, even though it's Sunday. Can I leave any messages for you?
Mr. Kaufman, it's not merely parents and faculty who are responding adversely. Many of the students feel that Stan's behavior has discredited Whitman.
I know.
I don't think it was quite that bad. Baker was just as provocative in his own way as Stan was.
Stan still should have kept his temper.
That's true. But you know, the fact that he didn't doesn't mean that he shouldn't give his valedictory address.
Mr. Kaufman, I think we've all been more than fair to that boy.
Miss Tandy, for the first time, Stan has become constructively involved in something. And he's found a new way to express his point of view. I think if we deny him the right to speak, there's a good chance he'll go back to throwing eggs as a form of self-expression.
That's true. Well, Stan's sort of been a late bloomer. And I know he's kind of overbloomed, but he really has changed for the better.
And isn't that the reason we're here? To help the students change for the better?
And you've both read Stan's speech. There's nothing inflammatory about it.
Oh, yes, that's true. But will he stick to that speech? Well?
Why did you have to ask that, Miss Tandy? Okay. Stan, would you come in, please?
Why would he change his speech?
Sir? Stan, I want to talk to you about the graduation.
You don't want me to give my speech?
No. I'm very impressed with your speech. I'm concerned with the ceremony itself. Stan, you know, graduation is one of those tired old traditions that mean a lot to some people, like legal marriages and a reasonable credit rating. Now, no matter how square those people may seem to you, I hope you're going to respect their rights.
I don't understand.
I hope that you're going to give the speech that you wrote.
Are you trying to muzzle me, sir?
If I was trying to muzzle you, Stan, I would muzzle you, and then we wouldn't need this discussion. I'm trying to prevent another incident. What do you say?
Well, actually, up till now, I hadn't really thought about changing my speech. But what with all the static that I've been getting about the Baker Show, there are a few things that I'd like to lay on the people, yeah.
You really think that graduation is the place to do that?
You want an honest answer?
Yeah, I really do.
I don't know, maybe so.
Stan, I've stood by you all along. But honestly, if you spoil the ceremony, I'll never forgive you.
Would I really spoil it, Donna? Would I really? If I just told exactly what happened, the way they're trying to shut me up and everything else?
My grandparents are coming all the way across the country for this.
So they'll find out where it's really at. What's wrong with that?
What about Miss Johnson?
What about Miss Johnson?
She's practically sponsored you as a valedictorian. You blow the speech, you still graduate, right? But she has to stay here.
She doesn't even have tenure, man. She could lose her job.
Listen, Miss Johnson's okay. She wants you to take a stand.
How do you know, Jason?
I'd better fill you in on the final exam. The test will be in 3 parts: essay, multiple choice, and true or false. Stan, you nervous?
Yeah, kind of. Listen, what should I do? Should I go along with him?
You have to decide that for yourself, Stan.
Look, if you want me to, I'll stick to my speech.
It's not a very good reason.
Everything is getting so complicated. It seems like there are so many people involved. No matter what I do, I can't... Just, you tell me what you think, Miss Johnson.
Stan, it's your speech. Now you better go. You're going to be late for the procession.
We will always remember the standards you have set for us. The image of Walt Whitman High School will burn brightly in our memory.
My name is Stan Siebert. I've been through quite an experience in the last few weeks. Some of it good. I've gotten to know some very fine people who teach here at Walt Whitman. These people understand, and they help. They help me. See, I criticized the system, and I got blasted for it.
I think it's ad-lib time.
Kids are told that we're sent to school to learn to think for ourselves. Well, I don't think that's true. I think you people want us to buy your ideas wholesale. Well, they're old ideas, and they're worn out, and I am not going to do it. And there are a lot of kids like me. You'd think that you parents had made such a great, perfect world. Well, the world is in pretty crummy condition, and you made it that way. Now, some of you use words, you know, like freedom and democracy and like that. Well, I haven't seen too much freedom and democracy in my time at school. You jam us into crowded classes like a bunch of animals because you won't give your money for bigger schools and better facilities, and then you hire a bunch of teachers to cram a bunch of junk down our throats like trigonometry and French, so that we have to beat our brains out to get better grades than the next kid, so that we go to college where we learn more useless junk that has nothing whatever to do with what we need.
Are you pleased with your protege, Miss Johnson?
Now I know how Lenin's mother must have felt.
The world is burning. Races are at one another's throats. There are wars. Millions of people are starving. Why don't you teach us how to build a better world? We can't change the mess that you've given us by learning trigonometry.
Is this supposed to be a graduation speech?
You children all think you're so smart. You can't change the world overnight, you know?
You people have had a lot longer than overnight.
The kid's got a point.
Listen, if you can't say something constructive, sit down.
Let's let the speaker continue, please.
All you kids are alike. All you want to do is tear down, just like you've ruined this graduation.
What is so important about a graduation?
It is a tradition, and you are ruining it.
There are more important things than tradition.
We must let the speaker continue, please.
Tradition makes a big deal of something just because it's been going on for a long time. Like us wearing these crazy gowns. I mean, just because some crazy Greek or somebody wore it 1,000 years ago, does that mean that I have to wear it? The world is going to change because it has to change. It can't go on this way. And whether you like it or not, the kids are the ones who are going to change it.
Mr. Kaufman, that child has made a circus out of this graduation.
Do you agree with what he says?
No, not completely. But the important thing is that Stan earned the right to speak and that he was heard. Now, some of us don't like the things that he said, but we're all in one piece. No harm was done. Oh, some of our attitudes were shaken, but then some of our attitudes can stand a little shaking. Now then, the first to receive their diplomas will be our speakers. Stan Siebert. Congratulations.
Oh, you should feel pretty good. Gave one of our dusty old institutions quite a shake up there.
Thank you, Pete. Johnson, you really did it. Thanks, Liz.
Mr. Kaufman, I want to congratulate you. This graduation was invigorating. Whose idea was it?
Well, if anyone deserves credit, it would be Miss Johnson here.
Miss Johnson, it was invigorating, an invigorating experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be Whitman's Joan of Arc?
I don't know yet.
Mr. Kaufman, I am appalled and distressed at that exhibition that we just witnessed. Now, I would like to know just exactly who is responsible for that child being chosen to speak.
Well, I'm responsible for whatever goes on here at Walt Whitman.
Well, in that case, I would like to ask you...
Excuse me, but with all due respect to Mr. Kaufman, it was actually my idea that Stan be allowed to speak.
Oh, well, then perhaps you can tell me what your standards are.
Excuse me, Miss Johnson, but Stan would have never made the speech if I hadn't okayed it. If you have any complaints to make, you can direct them at me.
It's very nice of you, Mr. Kaufman, but in all fairness, all the complaints should be made to me. Now, you do want to be fair, don't you?
I want to be fair, Miss Johnson, but until you're principal of this high school...
Now, what were we talking about?
Joan of Arc.
Right. And you know what finally happened to her. Yeah, but you see, she didn't have Mr. Kaufman to protect her.
Uh-huh.
You're not Mrs. Banducci. How come?
Exiled again. Back to Siberia.
Opportunity knocks, dummy.
Someone robbed my English.
Hey, we gonna get marked for opportunity.
Hey, I gotta leave the room.
You just came in.
This is a free country, right?
No, not exactly.
Woo! We got us a right on system.
All right, everybody, simmer down. Take your seats. Let's see if we can't get something done.
Something done. Now, we don't do nothing. Not here.
You're supposed to leave us alone, and we won't bother you.
That's right. We're no good.
Oh. Now, you were sent here because you got into trouble with your subject teachers, and I would like to know what kind of trouble. Why were you sent here?
She insulted me.
For using obscene language in auditorium.
Man, you cussed in the auditorium.
Man, shut up.
And you?
Oh, me and this young man, we had a little argument, you know.
For giving another student a bloody nose.
Oh, wow, shame, man.
And what did you do?
Like in social studies, I was wondering if to choose between a pear-shaped or a square-cut diamond my boyfriend wants to give me for my birthday.
Here we go again, folks.
He's also giving me a red Alvarado sports car.
Oh.
All right. Lack of attention span and non-reality oriented.
This is true.
What's your name?
Tamara.
Have a seat, Tamara. Next.
I burped too loud.
And the rest of you. Why are you here?
Chalk fight.
For reading my lunch in class. Big deal.
We're all socially maladjusted. That's why.
Hey, how come you here?
Yeah, did you get thrown out of class, too? Are you a problem teacher?
He's not even a teacher, you dummy. She's a social worker or something.
No, I'm a teacher. I just specialize in counseling.
Are you here to shrink our heads or something?
I heard you the first time.
Well, I'm uncontrolled.
Hey, where's Mrs. Banducci? Oh, man, they just made her a warden of some prison farm or something.
All right, hold it down. Okay,
It says that I was cheating.
but you weren't.
You see that? She don't believe me neither.
I wonder why.
Well, I'd like to believe you.
Oh, yeah, that's what they all say.
Well, tell me what happened.
Well, I was talking to myself, and Bruckner thought that I was asking somebody else for the answer. I knew the answer.
Why were you talking to yourself, George?
I was telling myself what a jerk old Bruckner is. He doesn't like me to say it out loud.
What have you got against teachers, George?
Teachers. I love teachers. Greatest people on the face of the earth, teachers. Why, aren't you proud to be a member of such a great and glorious profession, Miss McIntyre?
As a matter of fact, I am.
You know, what I don't understand is why they call it the opportunity room.
Well, it used to be called the social adjustment room. You like that better?
Well, you see, the kids are supposed to be given an opportunity to straighten themselves out.
It's tough. You get the kids for 50 minutes, and every one of them is hung up with some problem or another.
Yeah. You don't get to give any grades, so you got no leverage.
Something happened. What happened?
Nothing.
Come on, Liz.
Let it all hang out.
Who was it?
Off the record,
Sure, off the record.
George Badgley,
Who sent him to see you?
Bill Bruckner.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Curly-headed kid. Lost his cool and blew up at Bill a couple of months ago. I remember that.
What happened?
He threw a book at Bill.
Did he hit him?
No, but with that kind of a kid, you can never tell. He smiles one minute and goes wild the next.
Did he throw something at you?
No. But he's got the nastiest grin. Oh, like he knows what you're thinking.
Now, if he gives you any trouble, you send him in to see me.
George will be all right.
It is not George I'm worried about.
No, I like school. I really do. It's the teachers that bug me. I'm going to start this movement called GROT. G-R-O-T. Get rid of teachers. Write box 214, Washington, D.C., and everybody send their contributions to the Opportunity Room.
Read that address again, will you?
All right, all right. Does anybody have any constructive suggestions? Like, what would you do if you were in charge of this school?
Well, I'd put a moratorium on all homework.
And a color TV in every room.
Yeah, and 6 months vacation with pay for all kids.
All right, get serious. Tomorrow?
If you're gonna get married, I don't know why you ought to have to stay in school.
Now she's getting married. Congratulations, babe.
Let's try something.
Now what?
Pass the paper back. Put your name, your best subject, and your worst subject.
What's this for?
Well, I'm going to try to help George get rid of teachers. So we're going to try a little experiment. A skill swap. Students teaching students. If it works, we may be able to do away with teachers forever.
I can take that.
Alicia, you speak Spanish, so put that down.
Can I swap Spanish for touching toes and gym?
Hey, I'm great in lunch.
I'm fantastic in weightlifting.
Yeah, well, then we'll give you all the heavy problems.
I'll swap music for help in bio.
Tamara, what skill do you want to swap?
I don't know.
What was your highest grade last semester?
B+ in art.
Well, put that down. Now try to find somebody to help you with your worst subject, and I'll come around to check.
I got all worst subjects.
I'll help any good-looking chick in anything. Hey,
What about you, George?
No, I'm not good at anything. According to Bruckner, that is.
Why'd he send you down this time?
We had a test. I passed it, but he failed me.
Why'd he do that?
He has to have some fun, doesn't he? He works long, tedious hours for little reward. Failing me is like a Christmas bonus for old Bruckner.
Why did he fail you?
Same reason. I was cheating, he said.
Well, why did he think you were cheating this time?
I had my math book open on my desk.
Well, didn't you realize that having your book open during a test would naturally make Mr. Bruckner think you were cheating?
Well, he doesn't need any excuses.
Okay, George. But like I said, if you want help, I'll try to give it to you.
Why? I mean, why do you want to help me?
You figure it out. Bill, do you have some time?
Sure, about a minute and a half before my next class.
Bill, I've been rotated to the Opportunity Room, and
Good luck.
I had one of your algebra students, George Badgley.
George Badgley. That's a bad news kid from head to toe. You know, the weird thing is he's actually pretty good in algebra, but he bends himself way out of shape to antagonize me. And evidently, he's done the same thing in his other classes.
If he flunks math, he won't be able to graduate, you know.
I've tried with that boy, believe me. But I'm not a psychologist. I get paid for teaching math.
Well, maybe if you had a talk with him, gave him some extra time.
Memo to all teachers. Please send list of unassigned lockers to office before 3 today. Requisition slips in triplicate due this morning. Age level reports due before 12. Collect all books for inventory. If I gave him a little extra time. Extra time. What's that?
I knew it. I just knew it.
What?
You and old Bruckner in there, ganging up on poor little Georgie.
I was trying to clear up the misunderstanding between you two.
Tell me, Miss McIntyre, do you believe me when I say that I wasn't cheating?
Yeah, I believe you.
How come? How come you believe me? I mean, I could have been cheating. As a matter of fact, when I think about it, I was cheating.
George Badgley, you little...
There, you see? I knew it. I knew it all along. You really got it in for me, haven't you? As a matter of fact, you hate me, don't you?
Now it's your... Okay, now it's your turn to repeat it, okay? Okay. Okay. I got it. You can do it. I know you can do it. Okay. Well, come on, try it.
News of bone.
Right.
Booze of death. Eels on.
Great! I told you you could get it.
Yeah, well, pretty soon I'm gonna have to start wearing a beret and eating garlic.
Okay. Then I got this Hollywood offer. But my boyfriend wants to take me to this Caribbean island his family practically owns.
You should tell great stories. You should be a writer.
I can't spell.
Well, that's what I'm gonna teach you.
George, Jerry's failing algebra. Why don't you help him?
Sorry, no can do.
Why not?
I'm afraid the teachers' union will get on my back.
I hoped if you started thinking about somebody else for a change, you'd stop feeling so sorry for yourself.
Great. Fantastic. Sigmund Freud hits Walt Whitman. Well, tell me some more about what's going on in the garbage pail of my mind, Miss Freud. I'm all ears.
I don't know what you're trying to do, but you make everything so hard for yourself. You're turning your back on an opportunity.
An opportunity for what? For Hank to teach me spelling or Laura to teach me maps? You gotta be kidding. The only map I need is the one that shows me how to get out of here. I'll see you around campus.
Don't sweat it, Miss McIntyre. Can't win them all.
You think you might find something in his permanent record that might help?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder whether any of this means anything at all. Environmental factors, socioeconomic factors, non-academic minded.
Non-academic minded. What does that mean?
A delinquent. Let me see. We know he's good in algebra. Does he have any strengths or interests that you can work on? If he ever comes back, that is.
Insolent, obscene language, disruptive conduct.
If it only said latent leader.
Or a very high underachiever.
Arrogant, seems to think he should run the class.
Hi, Miss McIntyre.
Hello. Oh, Tamara, by the way, that was a fine drawing you did for Hank.
Was it really? You mean you really liked it?
Of course. Why, don't you believe me?
Well, I don't know.
It's hard for you to believe you do anything well, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Well, take my word for it. It's a fine drawing, and I'm sure Hank really appreciated it, too.
I'm glad.
Tamara, do you happen to know where I might find George Badgley?
I don't know. Oh, is he in trouble again?
No, he ran out of school, and I just wanted to speak to him.
I don't know for sure. Maybe the taco stand. He's there sometimes on my way home from school.
Okay, thanks. Tamara, you draw beautifully.
Well, forget it, Liz. I'm dropping out, and that's that.
You mean copping out, don't you?
Clever, clever. I ain't so hot in my vocabulary.
Well, that must be because you've had such lousy teachers.
Now I know why you're here. You want to fail me in taco stand.
You're a coward, George. When things get difficult, you quit. You blame other people. Mr. Bruckner hates you. I hate you. Everybody hates George. So poor George hasn't got a chance. But if somebody does like you, you push them until they hate you too. So you still have your excuse for not trying.
You've really been thinking about me a lot, haven't you, Miss McIntyre?
Sure have.
Wondering what's going on in that spaced-out George Badgley's head. Well, you don't know anything, you big deal teacher.
You think you could do any better?
Anybody could.
I'm asking you. Could you do better than I do?
Yeah, sure, so what?
Prove it.
What do you mean, prove it? What are you talking about?
Come to school tomorrow and take over the class.
I could do anything I want? No matter what?
No matter what.
Okay. Maybe we should start with what qualities you feel would make a good teacher.
Well, if she's absent a lot.
Yeah, deaf, dumb, and blind.
Okay, cut it out.
You asked us for our opinions and we giving them to you.
Yeah, very funny. Anybody got a serious answer?
A teacher should be intelligent.
Well, that rules out more than half of them.
All right, let's put down intelligent. And who did that?
Did what?
You threw that, didn't you, Vic?
No.
Don't lie.
He didn't
Man,
do
I
it.
don't
I got a fever. I better go to the nurse.
I gotta go to my locker, man.
No, you don't. Neither one of you. I know all about that stuff. Now sit down.
Why don't you sit down and shut up?
Yeah.
Look, will you act your age? We're trying to have a discussion.
Louder.
Funnier.
Hiccup! Uh-oh. I have got the hiccups. You know, all my life I've been trying to catch him, and hiccup, I have finally caught the hiccup.
All right. You don't quit, huh?
Oh, what you gonna do, man? Send me to the opportunity room? I'm already there.
What are the qualities? What's the role of a teacher?
I gotta go. My fever's getting worse. I'm delirious.
I gotta sharpen my pencil, man.
I said cut it out. Now sit down.
I gotta go just for the heck of it.
I don't got to go, but I'm going anyway.
All right, quiet down. You two, sit down and shut up.
You've got a piercing voice, teacher.
What is going on here? Oh, I get it. This is your idea, isn't it, Miss McIntyre? You told him to do this, so I'd wind up looking like a fool.
Since when do we do what a teacher says to do?
That's a terrible thing you just said, George. Miss McIntyre wouldn't do a thing like that. Don't you know that?
You. What do you know? You're so spaced out you don't even know your own name. Tamara. Everybody knows your real name is Gussie Huffner. And all that junk about your boyfriend.
George.
You don't even have a boyfriend. You're too skinny and ugly to have a boyfriend. You're just a liar.
George, that's enough.
That's okay, Miss McIntyre. I know I tell stories a lot, George. But at least I don't hurt anybody. Except maybe myself. But you lie too. You tell yourself that everyone hates you. But that's not true. I like you, George. And I thought you'd do pretty good as a teacher up there. But I guess you got scared when things didn't look like they were going too well, huh? So you had to start blaming everybody, right, George? I know how it is. Because I get scared a lot, too.
There's not much time left in the period, so why don't we get together with our partners?
Mr. McIntyre, can we continue this discussion?
Yeah, it's great to say in public what we always say in private.
Maybe we can give some real suggestions this time. All right.
Miss McIntyre,
Yes, George.
I say something? Gussie, Tamara, whatever you want to be called. I just wanted to say that, well, all that stuff they said, most of that stuff that you said was true. Almost all of it, as a matter of fact. And that's all. Except that you're not too skinny or ugly to have a boyfriend. I just said that because...
Because you're mean.
Yeah, that's right, Miss McIntyre, because I'm mean.
All right. You think you're mean enough to carry on as teacher until the bell?
Okay. What about some good qualities?
She should greet us with a smile.
Yes, you should have patience.
Right?
She should truly believe what she's teaching.
Yeah, and trust the students.
And be a friend.
Do you know that attendance in the opportunity room has been cut in half since Miss Banducci came back to take over?
Really? How come?
Well, a lot of kids were purposely getting booted out of their classes just so they could be with you.
You were making the opportunity room their favorite subject.
Well, it was getting to be mine, too.
Well, don't worry about it, because believe me, your good work has not gone unnoticed. We have plans for you.
Oh?
Oh, yeah. Did you know that we were going to create a greater opportunity room?
A greater opportunity room?
For those kids who couldn't come up to the high behavioral standards of the opportunity room. But we shelved that idea.
Oh, what happened?
Well, we decided it would be wasteful and unnecessary. You see, instead of starting a whole new classroom with all the problems that entails, we decided that we would just take all the difficult, unbelievably impossible kids and send them straight to you. What do you think of that?
Should I tell him?
Do you want an honest answer?
Yeah.